This is my 6th video in the series that I'm doing on what is helping me with my recovery from long COVID. In the last video, I talked about the importance of pacing. Today, I'm going to talk about the lymphatic system and how having a healthy lymphatic system is vital for recovery. I will also talk about the Perrin technique, which has been one of the most important keys for my recovery. So what is the lymphatic system and why is it important? The lymphatic system is a network of tissues, vessels, and organs that work together to move a fluid called lymph back into your bloodstream. The lymphatic system is part of your immune system and has many functions. It protects your body from illness-causing invaders. It maintains body fluid levels. It absorbs digestive tract fats and removes cellular waste. The lymphatic system is one of the body's primary means of removing toxins from the body. It helps keep your immune system, your nervous system, and your whole body healthy. The lymphatic system doesn't have its own active pumping system, so it needs the body's movement, breathing, intestinal activity, and muscle action to create flow and push the toxins out of the body. In other words, we need to be active throughout the day to keep the lymphatic system working. Up and about, walking, exercising, moving, to ensure that the toxins are removed from our bodies. This becomes a problem when you have long COVID or post-viral fatigue syndrome, chronic fatigue syndrome. Most of us who have had this illness know that extreme fatigue and exercise intolerance are two of the main symptoms that we experience. At my worst, I could hardly leave my bed, couldn't do any exercise at all, and this lasted for months. So if you are not able to move to help keep the lymphatic system healthy, the toxins end up building up and making recovery more difficult. So how can you heal your lymphatic system if you don't feel able to exercise or to move much at all? For me, the answer has been to start very gently and slowly. Like with everything else in this recovery, it just takes time, patience, and baby steps. When I was at my worst and bedridden, I tried to make sure that I moved my body gently at least a couple of times every hour. I started by lifting my arms up and down a few times while lying down in bed, or sitting up in bed and doing a couple of waist twists. And then the next hour, I might try 1 or 2 leg lifts. My bedroom is upstairs, so I would try to make sure that I went downstairs as much as I could each day. Just those trips downstairs and back up were at least some movement. And then I started to very slowly add a little more movement each day, always listening to my body. To help keep the lymph moving in your body, it's good to try to move your whole body throughout each day, as you are able. So I started standing up a few times a day and doing a few toe touches, and then later in the day a few side bends. When I would walk through the house, I would move my arms in circles a few times as I walked. All of this is just gentle movement, but so important for keeping the lymphatic system healthy and healing the body. Not only is it good for the lymphatic system, but it's also good for taking those first tiny steps in beginning to build your physical strength back up. The very early stages in getting yourself ready and strong enough to start incorporating gentle exercise back into your life. So if you are able, maybe just start by aiming to move at least a couple of times per hour, and then very gently build up from there, bringing that lymphatic system back to life so that your whole body can heal and recover well. Other ways to stimulate the lymphatic system are hot and cold showers. The hot water helps dilate the blood vessels, while the cold water shrivels them. This creates a pump action that forces out the toxic fluids that have remained in the body, so just alternate between hot and cold water as you shower. Dry brushing. Brush your skin in a circular motion for 10 minutes by using a natural bristle brush, and then take a shower. You can combine dry brushing and hot and cold showers for better effects. Deep breathing. The pumping action of deep breathing will help the lymphatic system transport the toxins into the blood before they are detoxified by the liver. A healthy diet, drinking lots of water throughout the day. You can also have lymphatic drainage massages, which leads me to my next topic, taking healing the lymphatic system even deeper. When I was at my worst with long COVID chronic fatigue syndrome, I started hearing about the Perrin technique, which is an osteopathic technique which has helped many people to fully recover from chronic fatigue syndrome. It has also helped a lot of people recover from long COVID. The Perrin technique is based on Dr. Raymond Perrin's theory that different stress factors, whether physical, allergies, emotional, or infections, lead to an overstrain of the sympathetic nervous system, causing a buildup of toxins in the fluid around the brain and the spinal cord. Some of the poisons caused by the infection or inflammation in the head or spine flow through the channels from the brain into the lymph ducts of the head, face, and neck. The toxins are meant to drain down the spinal cord and out into the lymph ducts lying along the spine, but in a CFS sufferer, there is a backflow. The sympathetic nervous system is important for controlling blood flow and the normal functioning of all the organs of the body, such as the heart, kidneys, and the bowels. It is also vital for lymphatic drainage. In CFS sufferers, the sympathetic nervous system will have been placed under a lot of stress before the onset of the signs and symptoms. This stress may be physical, emotional, environmental, such as pollution, or may be due to stress on the immune system due to an infection or allergy. There is often one final trigger, usually a viral infection, which leads to the breakdown of the sympathetic nervous system's control of the lymphatic drainage, leading to a reversal of flow of toxins towards the brain and the spinal cord. This produces further dysfunction of the central nervous system, causing backflow of toxins and further disruption of the body's normal functions, leading to the onset of chronic fatigue syndrome. The Perrin technique is an osteopathic approach that manually stimulates the fluid motion around the brain and spinal cord. Cranial and spinal techniques, along with a massage of the soft tissues in the head, neck, back, and chest, and the gentle stroking lymphatic techniques, direct all the toxins out of the lymphatic system and into the blood, where they are eventually detoxified in the liver. Eventually, with no poisons affecting the brain, the sympathetic nervous system begins to function correctly, causing the symptoms to gradually improve, leading to full recovery. For a more detailed explanation, please see the Perrin Technique website, which also has some video testimonials. I also highly recommend buying Dr. Perrin's book, The Perrin Technique. The links to these are in the video description. After hearing about the Perrin technique helping many people recover from long COVID, I read Dr. Perrin's book and then made my first appointment with an osteopath for the Perrin technique treatment. Based on my symptoms, her initial prognosis was that it would take 8 to 12 months of treatment before I reached full recovery. I started off by going once a week for a couple of months. During the first several weeks, your symptoms often feel worse after treatment. This is actually a good sign. It means that the built-up toxins are being released and leaving your body. After a while, you stop having any reaction to the treatment and you start to gradually feel better. As you get better, you have treatment every other week, and then once a month, and then every 6 weeks. I am now going every 6 weeks. Once you're symptom-free for 3 months, you finish the treatment. There are certain markers on the body that tell the osteo that you are improving. The lymphatic system is healing, the nervous system is healing, and you are on your way to full recovery. There are also some exercises and lymphatic massages you do at home 3 times a day, along with hot and cold compresses for 10 minutes in the evening. You put an ice pack on your upper back for 3 minutes, followed by a hot water bottle for 1 minute, and then alternate every minute until you reach the 10 minutes. You also gently march in place for 1 minute and 30 seconds each evening. The at-home exercises and hot and cold compresses and marching in place all help to heal the lymphatic system and the nervous system. The at-home exercises are explained in the book, but there is also an instructional video on YouTube, which a lot of people have found helpful. The link is in the description. The Perrin technique has helped a lot of people to fully recover from long COVID chronic fatigue syndrome. It has been very effective in my own recovery. I have now been having treatment for 10 months and am very close to full recovery. I highly recommend reading the book and starting with the at-home exercises and finding an osteopath who is trained in the Perrin technique. You can find Perrin osteopaths near you on the website. Because Dr. Perrin is based here in the UK, most of the practitioners are located here, but there are some in other countries as well. If you can't find one near you, I would recommend bringing the book to an osteopath and asking them if they would be willing to do the treatment. The book explains the treatment in detail with photos. And that's all about the lymphatic system and the Perrin technique. Next time, I will be talking about the importance of exercise for recovery and how to safely start incorporating exercise back into your life.